Homia.com has put out their report of the 10 best places to move to in Oregon in 2023. So we are going to share with you what those places are and give our perspective of what we think, if we agree or not, as to Oregon natives and relocation specialists. So we work with clients who are moving to our area, people who are relocating to our area from all over the world as real estate agents here in Oregon, and we love it. So we'll just share a little bit of our perspective for, from working with so many people who are moving here from, like I said, many different places. And by the way, before we get into it, if that's you, if you're watching this video and you're thinking about moving to Oregon, feel free to reach out. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to set up a chat and just figure out the next steps forward. I will put our contact information below. Best way to reach us is either shoot us an email or email us through our website. So.
Are you moving to Oregon? That is the big question. Yeah. And if that is a question that you've had in your mind over the last 5, 6, even a year for now, I mean, this is a big topic because moving across state to state's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of uncertainty, especially if we do get into a transaction. Some people are buying these homes sight unseen, but the number one biggest uncertainty that I hear and understand from my clients are, what is the right area for me, Spencer? Maybe you have kids. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you need to be close to the facility you work at. But what's beautiful is you got two amazing agents, myself and Mariah, willing and wanting to help you. We have put systems in place to get you here and make this a smooth transaction that you are comfortable with. For instance, I've had 2 buyers in the last 2 days reach out to me. They kind of dropped off because interest rates just rose, but now things are changing. By the way, if you're a buyer looking for a home right now in 2023, we are in an amazing time to get your closing costs paid for. I was just on the phone with my lender last week, and he mentioned that the majority of the sales that they're processing, he said an over 90% ratio of these buyers are getting closing costs paid for. That tells me something is terrific for you to be a buyer in this market because of how high closing costs are right now. If you are unaware of what closing costs are, maybe Google them, look them up. I'm sure we have talked about them on this channel in the past. Who knows? These closing costs are not part of your down payment. Okay, and that's something I really do want to clarify with a lot of purchasers, brand new purchasers especially. They don't understand there is a difference, and all of this money is to put up front at the closing table when you sign. It's an unbelievable time to be a buyer because of this number one reason. Sometimes you got to forget about paying full ask price on sales price. The number one key is home ownership if that is one of your goals. And right now we're making it happen with closing costs being paid for the majority. Every situation's different, so we have to realize what listing we're working on and with. But we are fighting super hard and being more successful than ever, I feel, with your closing costs being paid for. So you are in an unbelievable time right now.
Yes, that is a great pro to buying in this market right now. I definitely agree with you. Okay, so we're going to go down the list and share the top places, starting with the number one place. And by the way, the last place that they said, that this article had said was the best place to live in Oregon, or the best place to move to in Oregon this year, was somewhere I was a little surprised by. So we'll see. We're going to see. We're going to try to keep it as
so wait till the end.
Biased, I guess, which is kind of hard to do because naturally we'll just share what we think. But the article didn't really give too much information as to how they came up with these or why they chose these places as apparently the best places to move to in Oregon in 2023. So we're just going to share, like I said, a lot of people on our channel are people who are thinking or who are subscribed to our channel are people who are thinking about moving to the area and just aren't too familiar. So we'll give a little bit of information about the area, where it's located, and what we think. So,
and everybody's personality is different too.
Yeah, and there's going to be,
That's what I like about
these are all very different places. So one place might be the best for someone else and not you, obviously. So
here's the deal. It's not our job to steer you guys as to where to live. That's not our job. You guys just need to make comfortable decisions as to where you want to live. And then it's our job to answer any questions you have about that area and then get you the keys and purchase the home.
100%.
So don't let this article affect where you might be wanting to move here in Oregon. If you already have your place made up and you've never been here before, call us, let us know. We'll check it out for you if you have any concerns or questions.
Yeah. The number one place that they said is the best place to move in Oregon in 2023 was Portland, with a population of 641, just over 641,000 people. I think maybe one of the reasons they put this is because it is and has been a very fast growing city. I think a lot of people who have been living in other like metro areas, other cities, have been wanting to move to Portland, especially in the Pacific Northwest. Because if you compare Portland, we always think like, oh my goodness, the home prices there. Being, our office is in Portland and we live in Salem and we work all around. There.
Yeah.
Just to give a little background. So working, we do work a lot in Salem as well. And working in Salem, we always compare the home prices in Salem to Portland. We're like, oh my goodness, you can get so much more for your money in Salem than Portland. However, I think we fail to remember a lot of times that if you're comparing Portland to other major cities in the Pacific Northwest, it's actually like not that expensive. Okay, let's compare it to Seattle. Let's compare it to Vancouver, BC. Let's compare it not that far away. Let's compare it to San Francisco, Sacramento even. Like you are paying way less in Portland. So although it's more expensive than other places in Oregon, it's actually, if you want to live in a city, it's actually pretty affordable. If you want to live in a city on this side of the area. So
this is a terrible demonstration of Portland, but it's really funny, and I associate myself with humor a lot of times, and I'm sure you guys, our audience, have watched this show as well. Portlandia.
Oh,
have you ever watched that show? And I think it quit airing. I mean,
it's funny.
They made so many seasons, but if you're an Oregonian like ourselves, like there are complete inside jokes. You can totally tell Oregonians are on that like directing cast or whoever's writing these scripts because, I mean, Portland's different, and there's so many sides of Portland that. If you want to be a part of groups, community, I mean, there really are opportunities for you to be at, as well as resources surrounding you. That's what I really love about it, because they've done well with their transportation system. They've made it bike friendly. Mean, people give Portland a bad rap over the last few years, especially because of the news headlines.
But
that's been tough.
It's always the people that don't really go there often, or when they do, maybe they go to like the Moda Center and that's it. They don't actually go to they don't actually experience the culture, the food, the things to do. They're just on like one little side of town, and then
for me, it's like fun to go to the concrete jungle. It's not even a concrete jungle, but
concrete jungle.
It's like it's fun for a different environment change, and that's how I look at it. And I advise you, I mean, come stay a weekend. Book a hotel downtown Portland and stay for the weekend, and then get your own opinion, because then you're going to truly see how we see, in a sense, by the really cool, businesses surrounding you. A lot of it's local.
Yeah,
and
they are big on local businesses, big on local coffee, big on local breweries.
Yeah, and it just makes it a special feeling, I would say.
Yes.
So that's why I would make it, a top priority of places to move to in Oregon in 2023.
And another thing about Portland, too, is I feel like there is almost something for everyone, because there's so many different sides of town, and you're going to get different feels on each different, each different area and district. Like you're going to get a different vibe, a different feel, different type of people living there. And then of course, if you want to speak on the outskirts, there's like a zillion towns right on the outskirts. So Portland, I mean, the cons, I would say biggest cons are you're going to see traffic that we never see here in Salem, and it's so much more traffic. But again, if you're moving from another city, it's probably less traffic than what you're used to. So it really just is all perspective. And then higher prices. It's obviously rent and mortgage. But if you're moving from a bigger city somewhere else, then it's probably not gonna be too big of a deal for you.
Man, so we have 10 more cities to hit.
Yeah, we really talked for a minute about Portland,
but it is number one.
Yeah, it's number one, so it's important. Number two is, and by the way, we have a lot of Portland haters on this channel. I see in the comments a lot people are like, I would never live there. I'm like,
hey man,
everyone has a different idea.
And
some people want to live in a town with like 1,000 people. So it just depends on what you enjoy and what makes a place good for you. So it's all about your personal needs and wants. So number two, Bend. So I definitely agree that this is a top place. I mean,
fast growing.
Everybody is moving here. It's huge. It's the culture. It definitely. So Bend has its own culture. It has its own feel. Population is 102,000, which is crazy because that's
102,000.
Less than Salem. But at the
crazy.
same time, there is so much to do.
I look at Bend as like the capital of
I know.
Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's definitely the biggest in that whole like side of Oregon. It's one of the bigger places in Oregon, but 102,000 is the population right now. I'm sure that's going to go up a lot because it has grown so much, and I think it's only going to grow. It's grown in number. It's grown in like businesses. Bend is another place that is very local business heavy. Lots of local brewery, homemade local type things. Lots of local breweries, local coffee shops with like great quality coffee. I feel like that's just an Oregon thing. 'Cause, like I feel like I could say that about all these places that I'm going to mention. We do really great on like local coffee and local breweries.
I think what we really do need to focus on more rather than like local is like the area, the environment
and where it's located. Because people listening to this don't know. Yeah. So Portland is gonna be if you're not because again you might be like that's obvious, but a lot of people who we work with are relocation clients. They have never been to Oregon, and many of them never do till after they close. So Portland is the very far end of Oregon. You're gonna be right across the bridge from Vancouver, Washington. So it is like very end. What is that? Is that not the right description of it?
No. What I'm talking about is like the actual environment, the culture around you.
Talk about what do you think?
Portland, think green. Think green leaves, green. Now let's go over the mountain because you are driving over a pass to Eastern Oregon. Yes. That's the part of Oregon where Bend's located.
To get to Bend, yeah.
Think of dry. Think of more deserty. So the soils are completely different. The landscape is completely different. Now, if that fits your environment, then, I mean, Bend, you're going to get more sun. You're going to get more heat, but also you're going to get more cold snow. Mm-hmm. And so the weather is severe in drastic differences. Yeah. Portland, I mean, the elevation level is so much different. Eastern Oregon, it's higher elevated. Yeah. And so you're going to be in like completely different climates. So Portland, think like city. Bend, think more Morgan Wallen. Are you familiar with Morgan Wallen? If you're not, I love Morgan Wallen, but like if you're not familiar with him, go Google Morgan Wallen's country singer. Think more country, more repurposed wood, sand, deserty environment, different trees. It's really cool when you're driving on the pass and you see a transition from the Douglas fir, which is Oregon's state tree, then it goes to a pine tree because the climate is just completely different. So think about that as a buyer and perspective in culture and environment you're looking to purchase in. Yeah.
The vibe in Bend, as far as like the people, the style, the culture, it's the businesses, it's very, it's much more like Western country, but it's almost like
but they morphed
it's hipster
it
country. It's like it's like almost like a mix between like if Portland were country, kind of in a way.
Well, here's the deal.
It does have a bit of that. What?
A lot of Portlanders moved to Bend.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't.
A lot of people from Portland moved to Bend, and then they're creating their culture, their environment. But then also, like, I could be sitting on a ski lift from a dude. You know, a ski lift could be 5, 8, 10 minutes at times, depending on the hill. And I talked to him. He's like, "Yeah, I moved to Bend. I'm just out of Portland." And you know, that's not my perspective of what Bend is, but that's really what it is. I mean, you're getting tons of people migrating, and that's why it's probably on this list of one of the best cities to move into. And I know for a fact building is just going on crazy over there, and it's very, very beautiful landscape. But remember, Bend, it will be more drier, and that is the one thing with me I've always had my concerns with. I'll spend a weekend, I'll spend a week probably max over there, just because we do have property and hotel chains we can stay in, luckily, and I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to see my green. I'm ready to see the organic flowers blooming because it's just a different climate and environment.
Here's my like pros and cons just from my perspective. And now this is probably a lot, like I said, this is very personal. A lot of people, you might completely disagree with me.
Yeah, these are our opinions.
This is just my personal pros and cons of Bend. The pros is that there is a lot to do. I love that about the town is there is a lot going on. There's constantly like things going on in the park and this and that. Like there's places to go. There's businesses. There's new businesses. It's like a pop-in city. And especially if you like outdoorsy things, there's a ton of outdoor stuff. Like Spencer said, summer is really hot. Winter, they get snow. So I like that about it. I don't like how maybe this will change someday. I don't know. But there's no street lights. It kind of has this weird feel like when you're driving there at
There's
night.
definitely street lights.
No,
Mariah.
okay. No. What I mean is like a lot of the roads, like at night, like
It
on the
depends
outside
on where you're
of the
at.
town.
It's outskirts
No. But
she's
like
talking
everywhere
about.
outside, like it just kind of feels like it's literally like pitch, like it's so dark. Like it's pitch black. It just feels like you're out in the country. Like I don't like that about
You are
it.
out in the country.
Yes, and
They
maybe
love-
you like that. I don't like that. I don't
say-
like driving in the black. Okay, I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
The
Like,
natural moonlight is the only thing that matters.
and I don't like that.
You're
There was
getting
something
more
else
clear
I don't,
skies.
there was
the
something else I don't
There's
like.
less pollution. The air
Yeah.
quality is unbelievable over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
Um,
desert. I don't like that it looks like a desert.
There you go.
But some people love that. So that's just a personal thing.
There
okay,
are
let's move on.
streetlights, guys, by the
There-
way. Okay. We need to
But you
clarify
know what I
that.
mean though? Like when you're outside of just the city itself. but
Ryan
you're
needs a
still in
sidewalk
Bend.
outside of her house.
Yeah, I don't like the. Anyway.
Personal opinions there.
Okay, personal, very personal. Okay, the next is Corvallis. So number 3 place to move to is Corvallis. The population is currently almost 60,000. So let's just say just shy of 60,000 people. If you're not familiar, Corvallis is the home of Oregon State University. There's
Which,
a lot
by the
of-
way, is the #1 college town in the United States.
It
or
is?
it's top 5.
Oh wow.
It's either 1, but it's also in the top 5. I know that for a fact.
It has a cute little downtown. I mean, it's a nice town. Average sale price, you're gonna
It goes up.
be paying. Okay, by the way, I forgot to say the average sale price in Bend. I have it written on a different note. It's
What was it?
it's like
5,
750,000 right now.
It dramatically.
It's like
goes up.
$750,000. So Bend and Portland are like very high. Corvallis, the average sale price is not as high as Bend. It's not as high as Portland, but it is higher than Salem.
Corvallis?
Yes.
Yeah, it's about 530.
A lot of investors want to buy there, and I mean, obviously it's a college town, so a lot of investors want to have like rentals there. That type of thing is what we see, when we work in Corvallis.
Yeah. When I drive to Corvallis and when I hang out in Corvallis, I think of more history. Obviously, college town, the buildings, the Oregon State University is beautiful, especially in the fall time. You're getting all these colors from the leaves and the trees. But it's a mature town, and even their downtown area, you'll notice it's all walkable. That's what I love about it. And it's flat. It's not really hillside, especially as you're in the valley of Corvallis downtown. But there's a branch to Corvallis that I really personally love. You can connect I-5 corridor from it, but also you can go the backside to Albany and be like on the border of West Albany, and in Corvallis, which is really convenient and nice. Makes you 10 minutes away from town on both ends, so you can really be in the middle. Choose whether you want to do your shopping in Albany or Corvallis, or if you work in one of the areas, you can really be in the middle with more potential to own land. That's where I see it.
Yeah.
And usually you can deal with neighborhoods with like basements. I've even sold 3-story homes there that are like 4,000 square feet, bigger bedrooms, because like Mariah mentioned, this is a college town and a lot of investors like to own property here. And I mean, it's amazing for the rental market. If that's you and you want to own something, Airbnb, rent out by the bedroom, something, it's a great opportunity, and I highly suggest you look there for a rental opportunity.
The 4th best place, according to this article, to move to in Oregon is Eugene. So their population is just under Salem's, actually, just a little bit lower. It's 175,000 right now. And I don't know, it's crazy because I always felt like Eugene was bigger than Salem, like as far as like
Really?
population, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's very similar, very close though, very close. But Eugene, it definitely has its own culture there as well. Haven't been there in a minute, but
Here's the deal.
yeah. What do you think?
Eugene is like a branch knockoff version of Portland, I would say.
But it's a little different though. The vibe is a little different. Like I feel like the culture.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Right,
brand, but it's a
different.
knockoff Portland.
Yeah.
And you are home of the Oregon Ducks. Political party definitely changes once you get into Eugene. So if that's something that fits your needs, I mean, a lot of people you'll have familiarities with that live in Eugene. That's always nice. Now, there are a lot of bridges. Obviously, home of the Ducks, college town. Oregon State beats the Ducks, so I mean, number 4 on the list. Eugene's number 5. I'm a Beaver fan, so I got to throw that one in the Ducks' face. But when you have successful programs, that's all that matters. Eugene is a very, very successful college. Same with Oregon State, and I mean their school systems as well. You can have not knockoff, but smaller schools surrounding Eugene. That's what I do love about it. For instance, Elmira versus Eugene High School. Just a different feel. I mean, it's a 4A division rather than a 6A division, and you can live, within 10, 15 minutes of Eugene. So if you don't want to actually live in the town, there definitely are smaller towns surrounding Eugene that will fit your bill, and I think you'll be very happy there. And as well, the price. I think the prices are always going to get better the more south you go along I-5 corridor from Salem, and that's one thing I really do see people like not justifying, but understanding, especially if you're moving out of state because you're used to maybe an hour and a half drive to work because of traffic. Yeah. Well, you can justify the road miles because there's less traffic here in Oregon. So
yeah, true.
That's where you can get more bang for your buck if you're wanting and willing to live in an outskirt town of one of these bigger cities, and one of these bigger cities might be your workplace. So think about that.
That's true. I like Eugene because there's a lot to do. It definitely is a town where it's going to be easier to find things going on, places to go. Another place where you'll find a lot of great, I could say this again, but coffee shops and restaurants in Eugene. When I think of Eugene, I just think of like organic.
Organic?
I don't know. There's a lot.
Because the green.
There's a lot of like organic restaurants and kind of that like vibe there, but
that's a lot with
Eugene.
All these supporting cities. So
that's
what's kind of unique is you are supporting local business, fresh produce. Yeah. We've really come a long ways from getting away from the processed foods and stuff with our local business, especially. Now, keep in mind, you're probably going to pay a little bit more, but you're giving that to an actual owner, rather than a big corporation. So sometimes that justification is all the value that's needed.
Yeah. Okay, so the 5th place on the list is Beaverton. The population is just over 98,000.
I love Beaverton.
Yeah, Beaverton is it's a nice town. It's just a nice area. You're super close to Portland, but you're not like right there in the city. So it has a little bit more of that suburban feel, but you're also a very convenient drive if you want to drive to Portland or commute, work there. The next place is Ashland.
Yeah. This is another great city, though. Town. Yes, town.
Population, 21,000. How far is Ashland from here?
I'd say 4 hours.
4 hours. I really haven't
Salem.
spent a lot of time there besides driving. We drive through it every time we go to California because it's that direction, but I really haven't spent a ton of time in Ashland.
It's a college town. I would say a lot of the time they do have the
Shakespeare Festival.
Yeah, the Shakespeare Festival, the Renaissance. So that culture is really, really important, but also fun to be around, especially in that season, the Renaissance fairs. If you're into that, Ashland is definitely a town for you. But also, it's a surrounding town for Southern Oregon University. And their sports programs are terrific. I am a wrestler. They have a great wrestling program as well. They are a Division II college, I want to say. Yeah, it's Division II, I believe. So they are competitive, but I like it because it's a clean city, And, I can't get away with it because we do live in Oregon. Fresh produce, organic produce. You're definitely going to find that there.
Okay, so our 8th, I believe this was the 8th, best place to move to in Oregon is Hood River.
With the Columbia Gorge.
Yes, with the population of 8,300. The Hood River is definitely, this whole area, like the Columbia Gorge area, is definitely its own kind of feel. Yeah. How far is it from Salem, would you say? 2 hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. It's beautiful. The whole area is going to be, so many breathtaking scenery, hiking, like beautiful, like rivers. It is a beautiful, beautiful area if you like outdoorsy things. I've only been to Hood River once, Have you
You've
been there?
driven through it plenty of times.
No, but like I've only been to the
Yeah.
town itself
Okay.
and like I stayed in the
Yeah,
town
you
once.
stayed at a hotel there, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that experience real quick.
Okay, so
Explain landscape, culture, if you felt that.
you have, I mean, very beautiful like scenery all around. It's just like refreshing. Like you kind of get like good. I mean, I feel like all of Oregon has really good air, but
But it is more
refreshing
east.
feel. Yes. There's a cute little downtown in Hood River. It's not huge, but it's a little, little. I think when I was there was a Saturday market going on. It was during the summer, so that was fun to walk through. A lot of like handmade things there, homemade food. What else? It has a big thing that I remember was the outdoor activities. There's a lot of like water skiing,
Okay.
just a ton of, it just kind of reminded me of a place that you would move to or go to. It seemed like a lot of the people there were just there for like the weekend or, on vacation, not like that lived there. It seemed like it was more filled with like people touristy things, and they were there for the outdoors, whether it's for like hiking or water sports or whatever.
Okay, so what would you say the more territorial landscape looked like? Was it more mountainous, flat,
A lot of
rocky, rolling hills?
trees and mountains and lots of lots of
So more
beautiful trees
hillside?
though. Yeah. So it was pretty, but yeah, I don't know that I'd want to live there. It's my personal opinion.
It's
though.
just not where you're from.
Yeah, unless
big
you're
deal.
really into, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot to do
more than
besides
water ski.
outdoor things, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Hood River's a great location, though. Their
Yeah.
school's unbelievable. I know they do have a smaller, I think they're the 3A division. So you're going to get more of a community feel, and that's important. So the people that are in that community stay with that community. That's my experience, especially with these smaller outskirt towns from these big cities, is people always come back to where they came from. It's probably why Mariah was like, I have no reason to live in Hood River. Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we're from this area,
Right.
and we love being supported and surrounded by our family. It's
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
But Hood River definitely does have that feel, so keep that in mind. And it's a great place to just, real estate wise, it's cheaper, but also, I mean, if you want to be, on that side, it's west.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it's north. It's the very far north of Oregon, just over to the east side of Portland. So that's a fun thing to do geographically. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so the next place was Salem. Finally made it to the list.
we made it on the
We
list.
made it on the list. The population is almost 178,000 people. So it's grown. I feel like it wasn't that long ago that it was like 130,000 people. So I know the population here has grown a lot lately, and I believe it will continue to as Salem continues to grow, not only in number, but in places to go and things to do. I'm just really proud of Salem and how many, again, we're very local business heavy. And that's one thing that I love about living here. And I do think that's not just Salem, but all of Oregon. That's one thing about Oregon in general that I love is very local business heavy. But I'm really grateful to live in a place that is expanding with things going on. As a person who wants to live where there's things to do and places to go, I know that's not for everyone, but I enjoy that. I really am grateful for the fact that it is only growing, and I know it is only going to expand, not only in number, but with things going on.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm really proud of our city and how they have just developed our parks, always wanting to increase and just make improvements over time. You might not see instant improvements, but make a call to the city of Salem and ask them about the streets or the street sweeper. You see something wrong with potholes or in the sidewalks, make a call and see how long it'll take for these improvements to be made.
Yeah.
That's something that me living in the location we do currently, that has just been so impressive, is seeing how well our city maintains itself. And it feels like it's not so big where I don't know my mailman. And I think that's pretty important. That's a unique statement to say, because people are so friendly around here. I can literally go outside, ask them, have a 10-minute conversation if needed, and they're fine with that. They're not just pushing you off because they're like, I don't know you. You don't give me anything. It's not all about them. There's a selflessness to the community, and that's really important, especially being part of the community. You always want to feel comfortable and available, that people can respond to you and talk and really have an intelligent conversation. I think that's really important. And I can attest to all these places on this list. The top 10 list we went over today is the people here in Oregon, I feel, are just a little bit nicer and different than elsewhere in the country. And that has been time and time said to me after many closings is, man, Oregon, the people here are just different. They treat me different. They actually ask how I'm doing or just say hi when I'm walking past them on the sidewalk. And not a lot of people are used to that, and that's something I do forget about. So keep that in mind when you are searching for places to live in Oregon. The friendliness to our communities are really something that is real. Yeah. And you might have read about that already.
That is a comment I hear a lot too from people that move here, is the people are very friendly. Something that I like about Salem is the location. I really like where it's located in Oregon. You are right in between Eugene and Portland. So it's only about an hour drive to both. You're only about 45 minutes to an hour to the closest beach. You've got the mountains less than an hour. So like we're very centrally located, and I like just being in that location to where it's a quick, easy drive to all, these different places. And obviously we live here for a reason. We like living here. And so I won't go too much. We could talk a lot more about this, but if you are curious about Salem itself, head over to our channel. We have a playlist called Living in Salem, Oregon, and we have made many videos going very in depth on just Salem specifically and other towns on the outskirts. So be sure to check that out. The next one, we have 2 left. This next one is Brookings. Population is 6,800. Apparently they're growing.
I have not heard of Brookings in a very long time. I played them in high school baseball.
Really? That's a long drive.
That's the only time I've ever been to Brookings. That's a really
long drive for high school baseball.
We had a playoff game there.
Oh my gosh. So it's located along the southern Oregon coast at the mouth of the Chetco River.
It was beautiful.
It's only about 6 miles from the California border. I don't think I've ever been to Brookings besides maybe driving through it.
You really have no real reason to go to Brookings unless there is a task to do, or you follow the Oregon coastline to California. I think it's all connecting. It might be Highway 101.
Okay.
Maybe look it up. But Brookings,
it's a beach town.
It's a beach town. It's rocky, mountainous, I believed. Lots of cliffs. But I thought it was beautiful. The grass, it literally grows on top of the rock. It was fun. And it was just luscious.
Okay. That's cool. I wonder what the main reasons why they put it as one of the top places. Maybe because it is growing. I mean, that's a pretty big population for an Oregon beach town. I mean, I know it's just shy of 7,000 people. I know that's
a 4A high school.
Right. So. That doesn't sound like that big of a town, but if you saw like a lot of the beach towns in Oregon, they're like really, really small. So I feel like that could be a reason. But okay. Last but not least, this last one surprised me. Joseph, Oregon.
Joseph.
It's in Eastern Oregon.
Okay.
Population is only 1,100 people. And the city is surrounded by pristine alpine lakes, rivers, canyons, truly wild wilderness. It's no wonder this town attracts artists. See for yourself downtown at the Joseph Oregon Art Walk, a series of life-size bronze sculptures and creative shops and restaurants on Main Street. I believe it's about 40 miles or so from Idaho, so it's that direction.
Okay. I mean, this could be really one of those diamond in the roughs. I can't really speak much on Joseph. I haven't been to Joseph, I don't think. But it's like one of those hidden gems, though. It's like we have so many hidden waterfalls, hiking trails, just secret places.
Yeah.
Now on Google, you can kind of find them more and more. But Joseph could be something to check out because who knows? I'm guessing the real estate there could be a lot cheaper.
Definitely.
And if that's something you are interested in, please let us know and we will connect you with a broker near Joseph.
Yeah. I feel like this is inspiring me we need to do our own 10 best places to live in Oregon and see, because this is from an article.
Yeah.
And we should do like our own, like what we think based off of clients we work with and stuff. But
yeah,
not that I disagree. Not that these are all great places.
Yeah,
so
these are all main hitters here in Oregon.
Not negative, nothing negative to say. So thanks for hanging out with us. Today's video was a little long, but be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you watched this far through. Share this video with a friend who is thinking about relocating to our area, and we'll see you next week.